Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Watch the greenbacks tumble.
Everyone all set, cogged, locked? Here we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. And we're broadcasting 2 hours today from high atop the mountains. We're delighted you're here. If you'd like to call us, 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. Listen line, you can take us with you as you travel, 605-477-3249, 605-477-3249. We have multiple listen lines. I'll just give you that one, 605-477-3249. John is engineering the broadcast at GCN in Minnesota. I'm Vincent Finelli, and I'm delighted to be broadcasting this morning with Guineith Isaacs, live from Australia. Welcome, Guineith.
Hello, Vincent. How are you this morning?
Very well, thank you. Guineith, here in the States, Americans are renouncing their citizenship in record numbers. Last year, 2015, 1,795 people have bailed. And in 2016, we're expected to top that number. I believe it's because of taxes, regulations, oppression, spying, all the things that our government has done to make life less pleasant for us. Home ownership is down to not quite record numbers, but to numbers that we haven't seen since the 1960s. And we've got the police tasing people. We've got demonstrations. We've got the Democrat National Convention where they have to pay people $50 a day to sit in a seat to act like they are excited about what's going on. They have to cheer and applaud when on command. And that's the kind of thing that's going on. But some people might think that there are places, we can go to that are much better. But from what you and I've been talking about, you've got gangs in the state capital, Melbourne, Australia, that's really bad just as well, right? That's
right. Yep. It was actually, I don't always like our favourite export, Rupert. I believe he probably lives in America now. Of course, that's Rupert Murdoch. But he first gained his media legs here in Australia, and one of his flagship papers he still owns in Melbourne called the Herald Sun. Okay? And just last week, he had as the front page, it's a tabloid, as News Corp's very fond of tabloids. And he had as a front page spread on his Melbourne tabloid, which is the Herald Sun, about how gangs of youth are busy on a crime spree in Melbourne. And it had a double page inside report about these gangs. What was not mentioned in the paper was that they were all, or not all, but there was a high proportion of members of a certain religion among these gang members. There was also a report on the front page about a desperate mother who was actually a refugee, and she was from the Sudan, and she had sent her teenage son back to the Sudan because he considered, or she considered, that the Sudan was actually safer than Melbourne. A safer place for her son to be raised than Melbourne. And if you know about anything about what Africa is like as a place to raise children, I think that quite considerably says something.
Sure it does. Now, my understanding is that it is very difficult to have a handgun or a rifle in Australia.
Yes, it is. My understanding of the law is that you have to be either a farmer, which is defined as owning or leasing over 10 acres of land, okay? Or you have to be a professional shooter, and in any case, you have to allow the local police to inspect your house before they will allow you to have a firearms license. So if the local police are completely corrupt and don't like you anyway, then as we would say here in Australia, you've got Buckley's chance of ever getting a firearms license. And if you live in the middle of a major city, basically you've got no hope of getting a firearms license because they'll say you have no reason to have a firearms license.
And here in the United States of America, we have the right to bear arms, except the federales will say that felons don't have those rights. Convicted felons, whether they are wrongfully convicted or not, the federales say that they can't have a firearm. But, you know, as a farmer, we need to have ways of protecting our animals from predators. You know, I raise cows, and there are packs of wild dogs that come around, and you know, it's nice to be able to just keep them away from our livestock. So, as a farmer, it's a tool. It's an absolute tool that it's a requirement as far as I see it. It's a tool just like a hammer or anything else that we use to keep our farm operational. But also, it's nice to be able to defend ourselves. So, in the case of your state capital, and maybe, I guess, even other places in Australia, crime is on the up. Now, what are these young thugs doing?
Well, they're doing carjackings. They're robbing convenience stores. They are basically going on rampages of wrecking stuff. Basically, you name it. They're just, they're going wild. And people really, really no longer feel safe in their own homes. They don't feel safe really going out, you know, conducting their everyday business. And the most extraordinary thing is that, you know, well, it's not extraordinary, really. This part is not extraordinary. Local sporting goods stores in Melbourne are selling out of golf clubs and cricket bats and baseball bats. Apparently, the good people of Melbourne have suddenly taken a real interest in sports involving heavy clubs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if they're sold out of baseball bats, you can always go to the hardware store and get an axe handle. Actually, a maul handle is probably a better way to go because you never know when you're going to find the rest of the maul to go with the handle. So a lot of people seem to carry them in their vehicles, looking for that garage sale where they can get the rest of the maul for splitting wood. So that's just
the thing is that if you have something like that in your car and the police pull you over, they're actually likely to confiscate it. Because it will be considered a weapon unless you have a good excuse to have it. Whereas you can always claim that you've taken up golf or baseball or whatever, and that you have to be transporting the sporting good. You know,
I can tell you that
it's ridiculous that the police are actually discouraging people from defending themselves.
I can tell you that there are vehicles that I've seen where people have these broken broken maul handles where where it's broken right where the cast maul meets the wooden handle, and those who are in possession of these are looking for that that garage sale, as I mentioned, where they could get the rest of whatever they need. But so you're saying that the police are telling people that they really need to not be able to defend themselves with tools? I'm talking about implements that just sticks.
Yep.
Wow.
They're saying don't defend yourself. They're saying
so
that you are basically in danger of getting arrested if you have any means of defending yourself.
Mm-hmm. So what do they expect you to do? Are you to call them? Are you to call the equivalent of 911 here in the United States and say, I'm being beaten, I'm just about totally bled out, and can you come over? I mean, what do you do?
I don't quite know, because all they seem to be interested in doing out here is writing infringement notices for everyone. That's like fines.
Okay. So I guess we're in competition with you here in the United States to see who can write the most tickets and infringement notices. There's a just outside of Boston, Massachusetts, there was a flash mob, about 25 young people a few days ago. It was in Roslindale, Massachusetts. And there was this flash mob of about 25 teenagers, and they went into a gas station / convenience store. They just showed up. And within a minute, they took whatever they wanted. They grabbed candy and drinks and ice cream, anything that they could get their hands on. Less than a minute, they were all gone. And nobody paid for anything. It was just they felt that they were entitled to it. They just went in, and to the shock of the owner of the store, the owner was powerless to do anything because they were overrun by this young flash mob who totally undisciplined. And I guess they felt that they had a right to take whatever they wanted in this store. And they were brazen about it. They just went in, rampaged, took whatever they want, and left. And I think that is a sign of things to come. Young people, I think they missed out on some training by their parents and schools. We'll be right back. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from IronEdison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of IronEdison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our IronEdison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at IronEdison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
My computer is so slow, it's making me crazy.
I used to have that problem.
Did you quit using a computer, or did you buy a new one?
No, I called Geeks On Site. They made an appointment to visit my home and showed up the same day.
You mean they didn't ask you to bring your computer to a shop? That's what happened when I called a support company.
Geeks On Site can go to your home or business or even repair your computer online. They have 24/7 emergency service.
If you are having problems with your PC or Mac, call Geeks On Site, 1-800-591-1682. Our friendly certified computer repair experts are available 24/7. Call now for a free diagnosis. 1-800-591-1682. Data recovery, virus removal, and maintenance for all laptops, desktops, printers, and networks. That's Geeks on Site for friendly, certified computer repair experts available 24/7 over the phone or in your home or business. Just call 1-800-591-1682. That's 1-800-591-1682. 1-800-591-1682.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to gcnteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Class, Guineith Isaacs is with us, and she's in Australia, and we're talking about life in Australia and how some things aren't so pleasant. And Guineith, I wanted to share with you that, we want to make sure that we have enough equipment and tools in our vehicles. We live in the middle of nowhere, and so I have, in my truck, I have wrenches and socket set and booster cables and tow straps and, a jack, all kinds of things. But there's one thing I never know exactly when I'm going to need it. So I keep it right next to me in the truck, and it's called a breaker bar. It's a breaker bar. It's a 1/2-inch drive, 25-inch long breaker bar, and I posted a link to it on the website. So it's kind of like you put a socket on it, and you can just easily have enough leverage to change your lug nuts, loosen them and tighten them and so forth if you have a flat tire. But you never know if you're going to need it for anything else. So it's another tool in case they run out of baseball bats, So I put a link in. How much is
when you'll need it?
Right. How much is it? It's $12.99. So I have one of them in each vehicle because you don't know which vehicle is going to have a flat tire. Okay? So perfectly legal. It's kind of a handy tool.
Yep.
And I dare someone to tell me.
Legal means and justification for a tool being there.
Yeah, I challenge the police to tell me that I don't need to have a tire changing tool in my truck. I dare them to tell me I don't need it. So here we go. What's going on with this Pokemon Go? Are you having examples of idiotic people addicted to Pokemon Go in Australia as well?
Yes. Apparently it's going crazy. I live about 18 kilometres out of town, and I spend about 99.9% of my time on my farm. I hardly ever leave it. But my son goes to school each day. He gets caught in the gossip, that goes on at the school. There's people breaking into police stations and wanting to get into the cells because there are Pokemon in the jail cells. There's people that I'm seeing on the internet walking off cliffs and dying, falling off, however 100-foot high cliffs because there's a Pokemon just out over the edge of the cliff, apparently. There's people getting stuck up trees and having to be rescued. It's absolutely ridiculous, and it seems as if people have lost a grip of reality because of this stupid little computer game. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I hear what you're saying, and I flat out don't understand it. I don't understand why young people would rather get in front of a screen and have a joystick or a game controller and do something virtual rather than doing it for real. I just don't get it. I don't understand why a young person would want to play one of those blow 'em up war type games on a computer rather than get behind a bolt action rifle at a shooting range and actually learn how to use the rifle and learn about ballistics and trajectory and optics and those kinds of things. I can't understand it. For the life of me, I can't understand it. And when our children were younger, some of our family members thought that I was out of control. I'll tell you why. All of our children's friends had these ridiculous video games, and I said absolutely not. If they'd like to use a computer to learn how to program in C or C++ or BASIC or something like that, I'm all for it. If they'd like to learn how to use some application software, I'm all for it. If they'd like to learn about the hardware, I'm all for it. But in terms of shoot 'em up, blow 'em up, destroy villages and towns on the screen, then go, gee, I didn't get enough points, I didn't kill enough people, let me hit the reset button, let me do better next time, let me blow up more people, more villages, I was against that. So I stood pretty firmly on that, and I still think it was the right thing to do because, now it seems like we've graduated to handheld devices and we're playing this idiotic game, Pokemon Go. So, I'm against it. I think it's nuts. Parents, take control of your children's activities and make sure that they do things that are real and educational. There was Kylie Jenner had a problem with her Rolls Royce. She and her boyfriend had a flat tire, and neither one of them knew how to change the tire. Neither one of them had to take a cab. That explains it. Let's talk about life without a car when we come back.
Lead, fluoride, and other contaminants in your drinking water? Get a ProPure with the Pro 1G 2.0 cleanable reusable filter and remove up to 200 contaminants. Drink water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure products, including the new ProMax shower filter. There's a ProPure for you. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Ted Anderson telling you about Jordan Rubin's Beyond Organic Green-Fed Raw Cheddar Artesian Cheese featuring whole milk created through ancient dairy breeding, unpasteurized, untreated whole milk on the same farm the cows graze, containing natural sources of omega-3s, CLA protein, calcium, probiotics, and enzymes. I have never tasted cheese this good, and you need to try it. Contact your Longevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
Kiss your credit card debt goodbye. I'm Pharmacist Keith. Dr. Wallach, the Dead Doctors Don't Lie guy, and myself want to show you how to achieve financial peace, creating an extra income that will last for years to come by joining Dr. Wallach's crusade, spreading his message of better health. To learn more, visit radio.recordedvideo.com. That's radio.recordedvideo.com. radio.recordedvideo.com or call 866-257-3105 for a recorded message.
As a doctor, I see patients every day who are losing their vision and independence to age-related macular degeneration, also known as AMD. It's the leading cause of blindness in adults 55 and older. Some of us are at greater risk for AMD. If you have blurry vision or blind spots, they can be symptoms of AMD. If left untreated, it can lead to blindness. The good news? With early detection, AMD can be managed with effective clinically approved treatments that can reduce or even reverse some vision loss. Learning that you have AMD can be scary, but there's hope and help. The Foundation Fighting Blindness is researching and developing treatments and cures for AMD. To get your free AMD information packet, contact the Foundation Fighting Blindness today at 1-800-BLINDNESS. That's 1-800-BLINDNESS. Join the fight against AMD, because together there is a cure in sight.
If you're considering going back to school, ask yourself the following questions. Do you need the flexibility to take classes on your schedule? Do you have college credits you need transferred? Do you want to earn a quality degree from a world-renowned university? If you answered yes to any of these questions, Arizona State University is the perfect school for you. Arizona State University offers over 100 highly ranked degree programs 100% online. You'll earn the same degree as you would on campus, from wherever you are, on your schedule. Plus, ASU Online accepts most transfer credits. For information, call 1-800-933-1430. Learn for yourself why the Wall Street Journal ranks ASU 5th in the nation for producing the best qualified graduates, and why 90% of ASU grads are recruited within 90 days of graduation. Learn to grow, learn to succeed, and learn to thrive at Arizona State University. To learn more about ASU online degrees, call 1-800-933-1430. That's 1-800-933-1430.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
Guineith Isaacs is in Australia. Guineith, I just had a quick question. You know, when I travel in my truck, and there's a police car up ahead, I can see the people in front of me operating their vehicle and slamming on the brakes. Doesn't matter whether they're doing 35 in a 35 mile an hour zone, 55 in a 55. Whenever they see a police car, they just slam on their brakes because they're afraid of getting a ticket. Now, what is it like in Australia when the villagers see, and that's my term for the community, I use the word villagers.
Yep.
When the villagers see a police car, are they happy to see them, or what is their response when they see a police car?
It doesn't make anyone feel any safer. It really doesn't. They're viewed as predators. They are... about 90% of the people around here hate them and view them as being massively corrupt. And about the only people who don't view them as being massively corrupt are somehow employed by the government. That's just how life is around here. But of the ordinary people who are farmers, shopkeepers, whatever, you get a few that are just hugely brainwashed and have an unfortunate condition that I call Romans 13-itis, okay? Anyone who's out there who's a Christian will immediately understand what I'm saying. That's the part of the Bible that says you've got to submit to government. Unfortunately, people who have Romans 13itis only ever read the first half of Romans 13, and they never read the second half, which says that if you are in a position of authority, then you should wield that authority with an attitude of really caring and taking responsibility not to harm anyone, and actually walking in an attitude of love to the people around you. I've never heard a sermon preached on the second half of Romans 13, only on the first half. Unfortunately, especially among the Christian population, it's all too common an affliction. That's really sad.
What I've never seen, what I have never, ever seen in my entire life, is a police car on the side of the road with a radar gun and someone stopping and saying, "Hey, listen, I've got some extra candy bars. Would you like one? Or can I buy you an ice cream? Or I've got some cold sodas in the car. Would you like one?" I've never seen that happen. I've never seen anyone go up to a police car when they're sniping with their radar guns. Nobody wants to go near them. Nobody.
No. There was a story around here of a couple of Aussie larrikin kids, that's what we call, the local jokers, prank pullers, and one of them pulled up to the radar gun car and was, talking to the operator. Well, his two mates were busy at the screwdriver's front and rear taking the plates off his car, and then they quickly went into their own car and put the plates on their car that they'd just taken off of the radar vehicle, and went at about 150 kilometres an hour up and down the highway, and repeatedly got themselves filmed with the plates of the car that had the, camera. And the radar gun operator said, "Oh, gee, I've got it good today," watching this car go repeatedly. And then they developed the data, and they found that it was actually his plates. I don't know if that's true or not, but it wouldn't surprise me, because that's the general, typical Aussie response to oppression.
Guineith,
we are a nation of larrikins.
We have a little town about 20 miles from the farm, and this town is at the bottom of a very steep hill, a long, steep hill, and it goes from a 55-mile-an-hour zone to a 30. And what happens? Well, here's what they did. There are a lot of farmers out here with trucks and trailers and so forth, and they had this. They got a rent-a-cop and a part-time guy. They gave him a radar gun, a police car, and the mayor said, we need to enforce this speed limit. So it's a perfect opportunity coming down the hill. So if you cross that 30-mile-an-hour spot and you were doing anything over 30, you got a ticket. Well, they issued a lot of tickets, and what they've done is they've destroyed their own little town. Gas station went out of business. The tire repair shop went out of business. The auto service company went out of business. Just about the town is half empty. Literally, if you go to the town, the buildings are half empty. The only ones that are survived, there's a small sandwich shop and government buildings like a bail bondsman. And it's like the we'll call it the county seat of our county. Okay, so. People have to go there. The post office is there. But other than government buildings, not much is happening other than one gas station and one sandwich shop. That's what's left. They've destroyed hardware store. I mean, they've destroyed the entire town with a rent-a-cop and a radar gun. So I've seen it twice in my life. It happened in Virginia. Same thing. Got a new mayor. The mayor is going to show everybody who's boss. Gets the cop with the radar gun. Temporary fix to this alleged speeding problem, and they destroyed the town. So what's life like without a car? Electric bikes, trikes, and other modes of transportation in your neck of the world?
It's not easy, okay? Like I said, we live about 18 k's from town. That's probably about 12 miles. If you ever are in this situation, probably the people who sold you the electric bike will tell you that the bike has a 40-kilometre range. Unfortunately, when the battery is on its last half, it really tends to, or I call it limping, okay? The last half of the battery charge does not have anywhere near the power of the first half of the battery charge, okay? The batteries that come standard with the bikes, this is a Tebco trike, transporter trike, okay? Tebco stands for the Electric Bike Company, and they are actually designed in Melbourne. I think they're manufactured in Melbourne from Chinese imported parts, okay? So it's actually supporting a local company, and the motor that they have is a patented motor. It was actually invented by the people who established the company, which is something pretty unusual to see. When I see something like that, I want to support it. But they come with a standard lead-acid battery. They do have a lithium-ion battery as an optional extra, but of course it costs quite a bit of money extra, okay? It might put $500 or $1,000 onto the price of the bike. If you're going to ride it into town on that sort of distance, you have to charge it in town before you make the journey home, because otherwise the bikes are heavy. You're going to really struggle on your way home, especially if you have a load of shopping or, I don't know, bags of concrete, bit of roadkill in the back, something like that. You know, all the sorts of things that you would normally use your ute to carry.
I'm looking at the price.
If I see a nice bit of roadkill on the road, it would go in the back of the ute normally to help feed my dogs. You know,
well, I'm looking at the price of these things. These, first of all the models that they have, the Tebco bikes, have pedals. I guess that's in case you want to get home, right?
Yes, that's right. You can still use the pedals. You can use them like a regular bicycle.
Man.
I have had a Tebco conversion kit bike in the past, and when you don't have the motor, they do work more or less the same as a regular bicycle. Okay, except that you've got to take account that you've got the weight of the battery there too, which is considerable.
That conversion kit for the bike.
Of the bike.
Okay, $1,500, $1,499.
Yep.
For a conversion kit. A bike, now their least expensive model, well, they've got what they call the Explorer, and it's commute in style, $2,200.
That's right.
For an electric bike.
But you have to take account that when fuel is $100 a tank, you are going to make that money back. Okay? And when you live a distance like that out of town, then the price of the fuel, it's certainly a cheaper way to go. And, you can get by without a vehicle, without a motor vehicle out here, especially if the blue team is going through a phase of hassling you. Although having a non-motorised or low motorised transport does not necessarily exempt you from their persecutions, because I also have a horse and cart, and I have in the past been pulled over by the police in my horse and cart just so they could check my ID.
You have to have an ID to have a horse?
No, because the cop is the sergeant. Can I mention his name on air?
Sure. We want to make sure he gets all the credit he deserves.
Oh, yes, Brad Hyatt. Okay, Senior Sergeant Brad Hyatt at the Wedderburn Police Station, okay, in Victoria, Australia. And, he has pulled me over in the past when I've been out and about driving my horse and cart. And, he gets his people writing fines for especially single mothers in the district, and lets them off of their fines if they, do certain favours for him and his boys.
Wow.
Which is disgusting.
And
sexual
that's
favours.
why. I'm sure everybody's reading between the lines.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the price of mopeds, these little 50cc motor scooters. $468, $669, $719. For a moped, which is a lot more comfortable than that bicycle.
Yeah, but you still need a car license.
Oxygen into the blood, but does not guarantee you get oxygen into your 372 trillion cells. Largely, the essential fatty acids, alpha-linolenic and linoleic acids, control oxygen transfer from the blood to the cells. These essential fatty acids are called essential because they must be obtained from the diet on a regular basis. Many people are aware of the value of supplementing with flax or hemp seed oil. What most people don't know is that due to current methods of pressing, all these oils are significantly damaged and oxidized by the time you consume them. What everyone needs to know is that there are new seed oils on the market that are pressed in a manner that protects the oils from damage and oxidation. Even athletes get cancer, which means that despite their abundant oxygen uptake into the blood, the transfer of oxygen into the cells is not occurring. I invite you to try the Andreas seed oils and see for yourself what a difference you can feel in energy, reduction of appetite, and well-being. Call 888-988-3325 or visit sacredseedoils.com. That's sacredseedoils.com.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Block-It Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockItPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockItPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockItPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
There are a lot of things in life that are hard to swallow, but your minerals don't have to be one of them. CRSupplements.com liquid minerals make that easy. The same size that a plant hair root absorbs, CRSupplements.com liquid minerals are easy for your body to use, and they are easy for you to add to daily liquid intake. Made in the USA and kosher certified, we offer 21 different minerals that may be lost in food processing or don't exist in foods grown on depleted soils. Choose easy. Get easy to swallow liquid minerals from CRSupplements.com.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Injury Help Desk is responsible for this advertisement. Principal Office, Las Vegas, Nevada. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisements. Services may not be available in all states. Attention prescription antibiotic drug users. Have you or a loved one suffered an aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, or abdominal aortic aneurysm after taking the prescription antibiotic drugs Levaquin or Avelox? These popular antibiotic drugs have been prescribed more than 80 million times since 2004, and medical studies show an increased risk of the following injuries: aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, and abdominal aortic aneurysm. If you or a loved one used the prescription antibiotic drugs Levaquin or Avelox and suffered from aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, or abdominal aortic aneurysm, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-823-3851, 800-823-3851, 800-823-3851.
There are a lot of things in life that are hard to swallow, but your minerals don't have to be one of them. CRSupplements.com liquid minerals make that easy. The same size that a plant hair root absorbs, CRSupplements.com liquid minerals are easy for your body to use, and they are easy for you to add to daily liquid intake. Made in the USA and kosher certified, we offer 21 different minerals that may be lost in food processing or don't exist in foods grown on depleted soils. Choose easy. Get easy to swallow liquid minerals from CRSupplements.com.
Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Guineith Isaacs with us. Guineith, it's a little easier here in the United States because if you have a motorbike with pedals on it that you can still pedal and it's less than 50 cubic centimeters, you can engine displacement, you can ride that on the road without any kind of a license. But I guess that's not the case where you are, right? Mm-hmm.
Well,
okay. Now,
if it's 50 cc's, okay, then if it's under 50 cc's, then technically you don't need a license, okay? But, then they'll probably find some way to give you a bad time anyway. Maybe they won't even believe that it's not a 50 cc bike. But if it's over 50 cc's, even if it's a moped, even if it's 51 cc's, then you have to have license and registration according to their stupid little laws. But do you know something, Vincent? If anyone's living here in Australia, you need to know that the whole motor vehicle licensing and registration system, the court system, the police infringement notice system is all run by a company called Serco, okay? And if you look up Serco on your favourite search engine, you'll find out that they're one of the biggest black ops operators on earth, that they are quite literally a military-industrial mercenary corporation. And their other operations include things like destabilising African countries and such like. And so they are the ones who are now operating our courts, our prison systems, our, of course, private prisons. The police, the Department of Justice, the Department of Motor Vehicles, which here in Victoria is called Vic Roads, the whole lot's run by Serco, which is frightening.
How do you spell Serco?
If you think about it too much.
How do you spell
Serco?
How do you spell? Okay.
Serco.
I'll put a link on the website.
Serco.
Let me make sure I've got. Okay. Let me make sure I've got what you said correctly, and let's just say it the way it is. So if you get pulled over and you're a single mother, are you saying that you have a choice between a ticket or sex?
Yes, basically, depending on your station. That's not how it is everywhere in the state, but around here, yes, it is. Yep. And
do you know people
ticket,
that's...
The last one I got was $758.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing you can do is what both Mike and David are saying is, I do not consent to contract with you. And to point out that they work for a private corporation and that you are not playing ball with them. And then you are probably going to be given a bad time by them every time they see you out and about. So
and that's one of the reasons why...
it becomes a game of cat and mouse every time you go out with a motor vehicle.
That's why I travel without a cell phone. And
that's bad. Even if you haven't got a cell phone, if they happen to see you on the highway, they'll run your plates through one of these stupid cameras.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if they see your name, it must have a red font or something next to your name. Even if you have no warrants, even if you're a law-abiding human being, if you have a record of digging your heels in and not being a good little slave, they will give you a bad time. And it's horrible.
They're doing that in the States as well. That's very, very sad. And I've said that, these cops demand respect. Well, I think in order to earn our respect back again, they're going to have to be a lot nicer to us. They're going to have to stop tasing us, stop bashing our doors down, stop shooting our dogs. And, I don't have a problem with the people who say, you know what, I'm not going to serve that cop when he comes to the restaurant because of the things that they've done in our village. I can understand that. I really can. And protests, I think protests are great. I'm not excited about violent protests, but I'm all for protesting for the right reasons. Guineith, thank you so much for being with us. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Attention backpackers on a budget. Why spend $80 to $300 to pump clean survival water? Introducing the Viva Water Pump Kit from Viva Outdoor Products. Super easy to use and super lightweight at only 6.5 ounces, the Viva Water Pump Kit provides high flow rate at 1 ounce per stroke, can be one-hand pumped, and is dependable and affordable at only $24.99, filter not included. Get your Viva Water Pump Kit at viba-odp.com from Viva Outdoor Products.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you...
Everyone all set? Caught, locked. Here we go. Hour number 2 of USA Prepares with Dr. Norman Shealy. I had some questions for Dr. Shealy, but Dr. Shealy, first we've got Kelly on the line in Victoria, British Columbia. Welcome, Kelly.
Hello.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
Hi there. Hi. I'm calling because I was diagnosed with MS 2 years ago, and I'm trying to make a decision about whether to go on medication. The neurologist is now suggesting that I go on Copaxone, and it's the first time medication's been suggested, and it's being suggested because 3 months ago I had optic neuritis and I lost vision in my left eye. So it's mostly come back, or it's about half come back and half has not come back. So I'm trying to make a decision about medication, and I have some mixed feelings about whether it's a good idea or not. I have taken your transcutaneous acupuncture course, Dr. Shealy, and right now what I've been trying to do is just clean up my diet and use energy work. And yeah, I'm wondering if you have any I don't know, any
Okay.
advice.
How old are you?
I'm 43.
And are you on any prescription drugs now?
No.
Well, my recommendation would be at the top of my list, no wheat of any kind.
Yes.
wheat is contaminated with Roundup, which is one of the worst poisons in the world. Secondly, I would go on to a very strong health-enhancing, program. At the top of my list for someone like you would be castor oil suits every day for a month.
Did you say castor oil soup?
Yeah, you take a bath or shower, dry off, and you put a heavy dose all over your body from the bottom of your neck to your wrist and all the way down to your ankles, and put on an old sweatsuit and sleep in it. Okay. That is one of the greatest detoxifiers known.
Okay.
And you can reuse the suit for 4 or 5 days before you have to wash it. And you're never going to use it for anything else again. You can somewhat wash it, but it'll never be normal. So you probably have to have 2 to switch off.
Okay.
But that is the thing is detoxify it that I know. Secondly, I think you need a very excellent B complex that is a minimum of all of the B1, 2, 3, 6, etc.
Okay.
Then I would use, in your situation, fire, air, and crystal bliss.
Okay.
Because those would sort of reactivate the DHEA to some extent, as well as the oxytocin, and help get rid of free radicals.
Okay.
How much do you weigh?
About 143.
Okay, then I would take vitamin D as in David 3, 50,000 units once a week, and K2, 15 milligrams a day. My youth formula, Dr. Shealy's youth formula, 4 a day, and Kyani Sunset, 3 a day. And then astaxanthine, 20 milligrams a day. I mean, that to me is a major immune strengthening approach.
Okay. And the castor oil soup, did you say every day?
Yeah, preferably.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to skip 2 days a week, if you're going to do it for at least a month, I wouldn't object to 5 days a week. Okay. It really needs to be, a fairly lengthy procedure.
Okay. I will do all that. And as far as my fear of not listening to what the neurologist is recommending, do you have any?
Well, again, I don't know a drug that I would consider good enough compared to the complications that I would take one.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Kelly, don't go away yet, okay?
Okay. Yep.
I was reading an article, and I'll post this on our website right during the next break. And it says, How I Beat MS, 17 years after being diagnosed. This doctor is symptom-free thanks to a simple 7-step plan. And I'd like Dr. Shealy to comment on this. So here's the plan, and it's very simple, and it absolutely dovetails with what Dr. Shealy just said. And here are the 7 steps according to the article to beating MS. Eat well. Give up meat, dairy, and other foods high in saturated fats in favor of a plant-based whole food diet with seafood supplemented by 20 to 30 I guess it says milliliters, but it can't be milliliters, a day of omega-3 fatty acids, ideally from flaxseed oil. Exercise regularly. Aim for 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. Get enough sun and vitamin D. Top off with vitamin D supplements, which is what Dr. Shealy said as well. And if possible, up to 15 minutes of sunlight 5 times a week. Meditate to help control the stress, a trigger for MS relapses. Then it says protect your family. Relatives are at a high risk of contracting MS. and following this program can help prevent that. And it says medication, follow your doctor's recommendations. Dr. Shealy, what do you think about what this article summed up and said?
Well, I don't totally agree with giving it all meat. I think properly raised meat of any kind is good, and good seafood I consider good. So, but other than that, I agree with it totally.
Okay. And so, Dr. Shealy, you recommended vitamin D3, 50,000 units once a week, I believe, if I remember that, what you said correctly. And vitamin D is the sunshine vitamin, right?
That is correct. Now, if you could spend naked outside a minimum of an hour or two a day, I think you could get enough. But otherwise, you're not going to get enough even outside.
So for those of us who would like to get adequate sunshine, T-shirt, with just our arms exposed, if we wear shorts, that's not enough, is it, Dr. Shealy?
Right. If you just are outside, you might in an hour get 1,000 units. Mm-hmm. If you're really exposed to the, face and arms. But the minimum for a person is 5,000 units a day for help.
Kelly, when we were younger, we were told to go out and get some sunshine. I mean, that's what we were told. Go out and get some sunshine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you getting enough sunshine?
Well, I could always get more, for sure.
Okay.
But I have another question around that, because I'm a bit confused around the. I've been reading some things that are talking about maybe it's kind of functional medicine, and Dr. Hyman and Perlmutter and Rawles talking about legumes creating inflammation, so cutting out legumes as part of the grains, as well as grains, I mean. And Dr. Shealy, do you have anything to say about that?
Unfortunately, the speed of your voice with your accent makes it very difficult for me.
Okay, I'll try again.
Asking,
I'm very low talker. Go
she was
ahead.
asking about legumes, Dr. Shealy. Should she consume legumes?
If they're inflammatory.
I think legumes in general are good if your intestines like them. Some people have a lot of gas with legumes, but other than that, they are an excellent food.
Okay.
And her concern was because they may be cause inflammation, Dr. Shealy.
Well, everything can cause inflammation depending on the person. And I think, interestingly, at the University of Kentucky years ago, their recommended diet for diabetics, which have a lot of inflammation, was a heavy legume diet. So, it's hard to pin things down like that down. Again, I wouldn't eat a pound of legumes a day, but a 4-ounce serving is certainly okay, I think.
Okay. Great. I can't think of any other questions I have.
I'm sorry?
Kelly, may I ask, she can't think of anything else, she said. Kelly, how did you hear about us here at USA Prepares?
I think Dr. Shealy's newsletter.
Great. Okay. All righty. Well, if you have any other questions, feel free to call back. Dr. Shealy's on the air with us every Wednesday.
I will. Great.
Our plan is to help you as best we can.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Dr. Shealy, we were talking about how the piezoelectric effect works, the sapphire crystals hung around your neck, and how to program them.
Okay. Well, way back in 1988-89, I did a study with 200 people with chronic depression. And we used quartz crystal because of its piezo. And by the way, I used to call it piezo. I now call it piezo, and I'm not sure of the pronunciation. But Piezoelectric effect is a substance which converts pressure into electricity. And interesting is that pressure can be words, thought, or, physical pressure. And we got superb results. 70% long-term relief of depression in those that got quartz versus 28% versus glass. So we'll talk about that.
Hold that thought. We're coming right back. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep REM sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry my pillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever. You can buy one of my pillows and get one absolutely free.
Go to mypillow.com or call 800-870-0305 and use promo code GCN. That's mypillow.com or 800-870-0305 with promo code GCN. Attention backpackers on a budget. Why spend $80 to $300 to pump clean survival water? Introducing the Viba Water Pump Kit from Viba Outdoor Products. Super easy to use and super lightweight at only 6.5 ounces, the Viba Water Pump Kit provides high flow rate at 1 ounce per stroke, can be one-hand pumped, and is dependable and affordable at only $24.99. Filter not included. Get your Viba Water Pump Kit at viba-odp.com from Viba Outdoor Products.
So, Dr. Shealy, you had these bags of crushed sapphire crystals. You've experimented with quartz crystals, and you programmed them with sound pressure, which is just speaking the thoughts that you wanted to have as an outcome, correct?
you do it silently with thought.
Okay.
Just hold it in your hands, and you give a short, positive image and, 7 words or less phrase that you intend to be in that imprinted sapphire. And by the way, sapphire is stronger than quartz in its piezoelectric effect. So that's why we chose it. And crushing it, of course, increases the surface area.
So when these crystals were, we'll call it programmed, what do you know the type of requests, positive thoughts, if you will, that those in the study had?
Suggested that
did they share that with you?
It suggested that they use something related to stress reduction, like calm, relaxed, at peace. That would be a wonderful thing to imprint into.
Okay. And what did they say happened?
Well, I had them fill out a total symptom score, which is 4 full pages of every known symptom people can have. And we looked at the total symptoms as well as the first page, which is, like over 25 symptoms, all of which are depression and anxiety. And so they measured that originally, and we measured that at 1 week later. And in 1 week, the anxiety depression score decreased 93% for those who got the sapphire. Interestingly, it decreased 50% for those who got sand, but that's because the people knew me. I'm not a stranger to them. And that shows you the effect of placebo. Still a pretty strong placebo. 15 to 35% is more or less average.
Are you surprised, Dr. Shealy, through your experiences, through not just the meetup, but through people whom you have met in the last 5 years, at the amount of stress that people are under? Are you surprised at that?
What was amazing to me, the average person had more symptoms than my average patient. Maybe they were more honest. I don't know, but it was indeed surprising, and that is the reaction to stress. When you have
You're talking
more
about the
than
meetup
10
group.
symptoms, you are experiencing stress, and when you've got more than 20, you are very stressed.
And these are the people that were at the meetup that had more stress than your average patient?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, remember, they did volunteer, and it is entirely conceivable that those people who had the greatest stress were more likely to volunteer.
Okay. Now, you did something that I was not present for. You did a spiritual healing. Can you tell us this segment and probably into the next segment? What happened?
Sahadi is a healer who does his healing basically with his mind and sometimes with his hands touching. And we had Moss here for 5 days, and among other things, we did EEGs before and during his sending healing. And he was in a room next door, not in the room with the person. And we did the EEG baseline for 20 minutes and then 20 minutes of healing. 17 of the 20 had remarkably striking EEG changes. I'm talking about revolutionary changes. So we know that, whatever he was doing mentally had a significant effect on the EEG of the person. And so we were talking about this whole thing of spiritual healing, which I've actually worked with since 1972 when I met the great Olga Worrell, one of the most studied healers, the most studied healer in all of history. And I have 15,000 letters from patients who wrote to Olga about their healing experience. So we do have this. This is another of these totally difficult things to understand. Obviously, it doesn't work in everyone. Nothing does. But to see a cancer disappear within weeks with no treatment other than spiritual healing can be pretty miraculous.
Let's talk a little bit more about that when we come back. Dr. Norman Shealy is with us.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep REM sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry my pillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever. You can buy one of my pillows and get one absolutely free.
Go to mypillow.com or call 800-870-0305 and use promo code GCN. That's mypillow.com or 800-870-0305 with promo code GCN.
Have you ever thought you'd like to flip houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? Are you ready to be your own boss so you can start living the good life? Hi, I'm Preston Ely. I used to be so broke. I had my electricity turned off 9 times, but I figured out a way to quit my job and find financial freedom in real estate. For a limited time, I want to send you a free copy of my smash hit selling book, How to Get Rich in Real Estate. It shows you how to copy exactly what I did so you can make money from the comfort of your own home without even doing any manual labor. I've already given away 5,000 books and they're going fast. To get one before they're gone, call 1-800-958-9859. Listen, if you're sick and tired of stressing about money, this book could change your life. It's short, fun to read, easy to understand, and awesome. To find out how to get your free book while supplies last, call 1-800-958-9859. Call 1-800-958-9859. 1-800-958-9859.
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit goberkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products, most ready to ship same day. Visit The Berkey Guy at GoBerkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of The Berkey Guy.
Class, I'm really sorry that I missed the presentation, the seminar that Dr. Shealy and Moss did about spiritual healing. I was not at that meetup. But Dr. Shealy, what we're talking about is healing, not even in the same room. No knife, no chemicals, no radiation, none of the typical things that modern medicine uses for treatment, right? And you're talking about that you measured a significant, remarkable, striking change in an EEG before and after with 17 of the 20 participants involved. Am I right in saying that?
You are right. Now, way back in the mid-'90s, I did 100 cases with another healer, and he was 60 feet away in a different room, 100 feet away in a different room. And he was able to change the EEG virtually 100% of the time.
Okay. Dr. Shealy, is there any involvement in the dark side with this? Because there are people who I believe feel, not me, but there are people who I believe feel that the occult is involved in this, the dark side. Can you address that?
Well, let's face it. There are always two sides of everything. You know, there are evil people and evil forces. Just think about Washington, D.C.
Sure.
But obviously, in general, I have never seen a healer who could actually get people well who had a dark side. Now, I have found, and not looking for it, but 6 people in my life where, as I'm working with them, I have encountered what I call a very dark negative force or demon. And I have had to do exorcisms. I didn't even, I sort of thought they might exist, but until the first one came, I wasn't expecting it. And the first one I did was a 42-year-old man who had been depressed all of his life. And after our single session, he was out of depression. He came back for another workshop 6 months later and was still out of depression.
Dr. Shealy, I'm somewhat speechless here. Because, and here's why. I'm listening very intently to what you're saying, and I'm also thinking about the day that you were here at the studio. You were with me, one of our dentist friends, and I don't remember if it was Thanksgiving or exactly what, Christmas, or we were all gathered here at the farm. Some of our senior instructors and gals and guys were here, and the gals were down in the kitchen, and some of the guys came up to the studio, and we were just kind of chatting, and the subject of past life regression. This was years ago. Past life regression came up, and I said to you, wow, I don't know anything about that. I've never heard about that. This was before you did that past life regression on me. And one of the people in the room, his face turned red. He put his hands up almost in a surrender position and left. And that was the last time that person was my friend. He distanced himself from me based on your discussion of past life regression and my interest in learning more about it.
Well, he's what I call a flaming fundamentalist, Vince. And flaming fundamentalists have no fun.
Do you remember that, Dr. Shealy?
Oh, yes, indeed I do. And I encounter that every once in a while. Rarely in my practice, because most people who come there are pretty open. But I have had 1 or 2 people come in, maybe half a dozen over the years, who don't want anything to do with me when I talk about past life therapy, which I've done hundreds and hundreds of.
I'm interested in everything. And I remember my dad, back in the 50s and 60s, and his brothers and sisters, the word the devil would be used. Like the dark side, that's the devil's work or something like that. Now, to me, I'm interested in learning about everything. That doesn't mean I want to practice everything that I learn about, but I'm certainly open to learning about literally everything. And I literally, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember during that discussion anything about the occult, devil worship, the dark side. Nothing like that even remotely occurred. And yet this person left our friendship, our circle of friends, because the topic came up of past life regression. And you did a past life regression with me. It was videoed, and I don't remember anything about the dark side even remotely entering the equation.
Well,
and it's not like, and I saw the video, so not only do I not remember it, it never happened.
Well, very few people are possessed by negative forces. There are some, obviously. The Catholic Church has had an official exorcist in a number of places over the years, and I didn't ever enter doing past life therapy to do exorcisms, but if I'm going to do that and I do encounter a negative force like that, I have to do something about it. I'm, morally responsible for helping that person get rid of it. And so I said, I've done 6 of them that I can remember, and they're fun because, I am, like the first one, literally, Vince, sort of psychically, I could see fangs and horns in the demon. And the demon did not want to leave. And I said, okay, fine. Then you can go back to hell. You're going to burn in hell for the rest of your life because forever and ever because you were not supposed to be found out. And so anyway, after 30 minutes, I finally got him to go to the light and left the man. And so that does happen, but it's extremely rare. That's out of many hundreds. So it's far less than 1 in 100 person that I've worked with who has that kind of possession. But the past life, it often helps people get rid of a major burden, something that left from a previous incarnation, left them angry, guilty, anxiety, or depressed at a soul level. Some of that carried through into the current life. And so by doing a past life therapy, I've had people get rid of long-standing depression or pain in 1 hour.
As you're talking about this, I'm thinking about the second coming of Christ. People are looking forward to that. Now, after the second coming of Christ, wouldn't we be able to look at that as, so tell us about your past life?
I would think so. I would think so. And remember that until 325, the Catholic Church included reincarnation. Constantine, the confab that he called together to create the New Testament, got rid of reincarnation, but for 300 years it had been there.
And I'm trying to figure out what it is that would cause people to think that looking at past life regression is the dark side, that looking at spiritual healing, which does not involve a knife or radiation or chemistry, as the dark side. What would cause someone to get that confused, Dr. Shealy? Because I know people who have gotten that confused.
Oh, yeah. Well, they were brainwashed by negativity. The hellfire damnation concept, which is still a part of a lot of basic fundamentalist Christian religions.
Dr. Shealy, I don't know if I've ever asked you this, but how do you feel about God? Is there a God? Is there what is it? What? See, I believe that there is.
I have a book coming out next May called A Physician's Encounter with Heaven. So obviously, I believe in divinity and a God force. Now, I don't have the foggiest idea what God is. I don't feel God as a human being. I see it as a phenomenal unifying power that somehow created and manages the universe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I remember being in the driveway at our farm in Virginia, and Father Bob used to come over to our farm, and he was the priest of a Catholic church, 20 miles away. And we gave the Catholic Church a computer and supported the computer and so forth. So, he's a really nice man. And so he would come over to the farm, and so not only was he the priest of the church, but, we had a good personal relationship, our family and he did. And so one day we were in the driveway at our farmhouse, and he just pulled up, and I said, "So, Father Bob, is it possible that God is an alien?" and that he said, "So here you are. I've given you this place to live. I've given you everything you could possibly want. I've told you half of what you need to know. The rest you're going to have to figure out on your own. And let's see how you make a go of it, and I'll check back with you later, see how it all works out and how nicely you play with the others that are here. So what do you think?" He said, "Wow." He didn't know what to say. Now, I'm not saying that it was just, I guess it was an overwhelming question. And I don't think it's all that far-fetched.
I don't either.
Dr. Shealy, when we come back, would it be okay to talk about the pyramid in copper and what?
Oh, absolutely.
We'll be right back.
Today, I became a biophoton woman. I put a tablespoon of the Andreas 5-seed oil in my morning's One World Way drink and was still happy and energized at 3 p.m. Normally, I feel tired and spacey at the end of the day, but today I felt energy and very clear. My friend at the farmer's market asked what I was on. She said my eyes looked bright and I had unusual energy for that time of afternoon. I told her there was a magical oil that enabled my body to absorb the sun's energy as if I were a plant. She said, "I want some." A second One World Way shake with the oil when I got home took me to bedtime with that wonderful, abundant energy. I couldn't believe how much I got done and how great I felt. The combination of One World Way and 5-seed oil produced a significant health event in my life, the kind that makes you feel you've been given your life back with a bonus, and I'm 64.
5-seed oil in One World Way. For your fantastic health, call 888-988-3325 or visit sacredseedoils.com.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Injury Help Desk is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisements. Services may not be available in all states. Attention prescription antibiotic drug users. Have you or a loved one suffered an aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, or abdominal aortic aneurysm after taking the prescription antibiotic drugs Levaquin or Avelox? These popular antibiotic drugs have been prescribed more than 80 million times since 2004, and medical studies show an increased risk of the following injuries: aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, and abdominal aortic aneurysm. If you or a loved one used the prescription antibiotic drugs Levaquin or Avelox and suffered from aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, or abdominal aortic aneurysm, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-823-3851. 800-823-3851. 800-823-3851.
KDArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the highest quality body armor, period. With packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. Why would you go anywhere else? KD offers rifle threat rated armor up to level 4 and now introducing trauma pads. Go to KDArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free water filter for a limited time with any body armor package. Go to KDArmor.com. That's CATI armor.com. Come and take it.
Plus, Dr. Norman Shealy is with us. NormShealy.com if you'd like to sign up for the newsletter. NormShealy.com. Dr. Shealy's on the air with us every Wednesday from 9 a.m. through 11 a.m. Central Time. And broadcasts are rebroadcast, tape delayed, all day long, all over the country. AM, FM, satellite, YouTube, and Ron Gibson's channel on YouTube. Thank you so much, Ron Gibson. Dr. Shealy, the Copper Pyramid. So when I was at your facility in Missouri, I saw this huge copper pyramid. It was made out of what looked like to me copper pipe. What does it do? How does it work? And what have you found?
Well, it was made for meditation. But then if we connect that to a Tesla coil, which electrifies it, it produces at a billionth of a watt per centimeter square human DNA frequency, which is 52 to 78 billion cycles a second. So our very first regeneration of telomeres for human longevity was done in that copper pyramid with a Tesla coil hooked up. And if people would sit in that 30 minutes, 5 days a week, within 1 year, their average telomere regrew 3.5% instead of shrinking 1%. And because it is cumbersome, I switched after that to making a 2-inch thick copper a topper mattress that allows you to do it while you're sleeping. You put it on a timer while you're sleeping. So that was basically the beginning of my research on longevity.
Well, Dr. Shealy, a lot of people watch television, and everybody I know sleeps at some time. So why wouldn't that be like the perfect solution? Just and this.
Well, actually, the television wouldn't be very good if you turned on your Tesla coil in the same room, because it would cause a lot of static on the TV.
Okay.
It's only a billionth of a watt, but it's still
billionth of a watt.
It's very high frequency microwave.
Are there any negative effects of that frequency at that amount of power, that very, very, very small amount of power? Any negative?
Not to my knowledge. I've got, counting people who've done it just for a short period of time versus those who've done it for 2 to 5 years, certainly well over 150 people have been exposed to it by me, and they're in the Ukraine. When I was there, they had used these frequencies on over 200,000 people.
And were most of the results positive?
Oh, yes. Basically, I started by applying it to specific acupuncture points. In other words, that's what they do in the Ukraine. And they treated everything from peptic ulcers to high blood pressure and all kinds of things with applying to specific acupuncture points. So that's how I developed my 5 rings. But then after discovering that I could rejuvenate DHEA, dehydroepiandrosterone, and calcitonin and reduce free radicals, that's when I came to the idea in 2005 that if we did that, it would rejuvenate the telomeres, and we have proven that unequivocally. I've got, counting the oil conversion, I've got 50 people that we now have shown you could regenerate telomeres 3.5% instead of shrinking 1% every year.
I was talking with Stephen Hewer of Synergistic Nutrition yesterday. I picked up the phone and I called him, and he came out with something very interesting. He just said right off the cuff, if you have a healthy gut, you can have a healthy brain. There's a link between a healthy gut and a healthy brain.
I agree.
Can you address?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you don't have a healthy gut, can you have a healthy brain?
No. You can't have a healthy body, period.
Okay, so probiotics, yogurt, quick steps to getting a healthier gut?
Indeed. And a lot of people, they need some tannin. And my favorite is one called Tanalbit, Tanalbit. It helps quiet down an irritated gut.
There we go. Dr. Shealy, thank you so much for all your assistance and all that you do for us here at USA Prepares. Class, above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from IronEdison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of IronEdison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our IronEdison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at IronEdison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
Attention backpackers, on a budget, why spend $80 to $300 to pump clean survival water? Introducing the Viba Water Pump Kit from Viba Outdoor Products. Super easy to use and super lightweight at only 6.5 ounces, the Viba Water Pump Kit provides high flow rate at 1 ounce per stroke, can be one-hand pumped, and is dependable and affordable at only $24.99, filter not included. Get your Viba Water Pump Kit at viba-odp.com from Viba Outdoor Products
today.